Welcome to Ann Arbor. Dave Revsine, Gerry Dinardo, Howard Griffith. Stop number 4 on our tour, a show that will debut on BTN on August the 16th. Little sneak preview, though, gentlemen. What did we think of the Wolverines?
Well, they're a talented team. They're much like Ohio State. They've done a great job recruiting. They have great facilities. They're on a roll. They're establishing their identity. I think the one thing that you notice here, different in the last few years, is they're a downhill running attack on offense, and it's permeated through their entire program. They're a very physical team.
Well, I think you hit it right on the head when you talked about establishing their identity, who they want to be. They want to be hard-nosed on the defensive side of football and be able to control the game with the running game and also the passing game. So this is going to be a fun offense and defense really to watch as they continue to mature, because remember, this is still a young team.
Let's start with the offense. Devin Gardner gets his chance now at quarterback. He's awfully impressive.
He is awfully impressive, not only on the field, but when he sits and talks.
He was great with us, too. Yep.
He's got a great presence on the sideline with his teammates. He really can have a special year. Offensive line, I think they're deep. They're talented. I feel the same way at receiver. Again, if you're going to run this offense, and you played in the NFL in this offense, you better have a presence at tailback, a dominant presence. Now, Fitz looked pretty good today.
Yeah, it looked real good.
And Fitz could be that guy, but if it's not Fitz, they need a guy.
And you talk about Devin Gardner and his abilities, and I call him Big Smooth, because when you talk about dropping back in the pocket, he gets outside. He's really deceptive as a runner. He doesn't look like he has blazing quick speed, but he can get on the edge, and he throws the ball really well when they roll him out.
Is that like a smoothie? Isn't that something you get at the convenience stores?
No, not quite.
I call him Devin for fear he might not like Big Smooth. I just won't want to see the repercussions of what might happen if that were the case.
He's a big fella, isn't he?
In all seriousness, though, how concerned are you about the backup quarterback spot, particularly with Russell Bellamy obviously out, Shane Morris, a true freshman?
Well, it's going to be some pressure. So you talk about the learning curve to be able to get up to that speed. You talk about being able to force yourself and force your quarterbacks to be in those meeting rooms and really put in a lot of effort and understanding what's going to be required of them to be the backup. Hopefully they don't have to go that direction, but when you wonder and you look at it, would be some big question marks if Devin were to go down for any period of time.
I'll tell you, it'd be a bigger concern if this Michigan team was a spread team, because when you're a spread team, the running component with your quarterback is obvious, a main part of your offense. Devin will run it some. I mean, they're not going to have a talent like that and not run them. But again, a good offensive line, good tailback play, and my quarterback's a little bit tired. He's a little bit banged up. I save him for the pass game. He doesn't get the exposure that a spread quarterback gets.
And I think to really talk about that, I'll take it a little bit further. You're not having two offenses to get ready for. And that's kind of what had to happen when you had Denard Robinson in there, because no one else could run that style of offense the way he ran it. So now, from day one, the offense you're going to have in, so the backups can all get an opportunity to rep it and rep it mentally as well.
The defense has gotten better and better in the years that Brady Hoke has been here, the 2 years. Greg Madison, the defensive coordinator, has had them in the top 20 in the nation in scoring defense each of the last 2 years. They were 108th the final year that Rich Rodriguez was here. Do you see that trend continuing?
I do. I think it starts up front. When you talk about Washington, Pimpkins, I think these are two defensive tackles that can really run. These guys can get out and run. They don't stay blocked. They continue to chase down the line of scrimmage, and the linebackers are very deep there. I like the secondary a lot. So I think they're going to continue to improve, because, again, they're having an opportunity that they're not seeing anything new up on the chalkboard. So now these calls are second nature to them. So they understand where they need to do, where they need to be, and they understand what it's going to do to really change and affect what the offense is attempting to do to them.
I'm not going to try to oversimplify this thing, but I'm going to oversimplify this thing. They got really good players that can run. They're going to continue to get really good players that can run. Greg Madison and the defensive staff is as good as there is in the country. I'm sure there's some as good. I don't know that there's any better. And the offense gets them ready for every situation that they're going to face during the season, especially the downhill attack. And if you look what happens in the BCS games and the national championship, you better be able to stop the downhill run. We saw Alabama run through Notre Dame because Notre Dame wasn't ready for that attack. At some point, you have to be able to stop the downhill run. The only way to do that is to go against it in the spring and in camp.
So good coaches, good players. That's a formula
and a good
for
scheme.
Success. Absolutely. Again, lots more where this came from on August the 16th. That's going to do it for now from Ann Arbor. Gerry and Howard, I'm Dave. We'll see you next time.